And I realized there are certain people who misinterpret neutral facial expressions as negative. I have this problem. So I will see a neutral expression on someone and assume they are angry or afraid or stressed or don't like me. And that was creating this really bad loop because when you think someone doesn't like you, you shut down and become more unlikable. There was a study I discovered right around this time. This is done by Dr. Van Sloan. He wanted to know what makes popular kids popular. Very clever study. He studied thousands of high school students across a variety of high schools looking for patterns. Why is it that some kids across these grades and ages are really popular? He had all the kids ranked across all these schools. He had them looked at traits, and then he guessed what made the popular kids popular. Were they more athletic? Were they more attractive? Were they funnier? Were they smarter? What was it? Can you guess? What?
I'm just basing this on the kids that were popular in my school. They were funnier. They were self-deprecating to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
They were remotely good at some sports, maybe. They were funny, happy. I don't know.
Okay, so he found that the most popular kids across the one single variable that was held true across all the different students was the most popular kids had the longest list of people they liked. So when he asked, one of the questions of the survey was, who do you like? They had the longest lists. And when he looked at their day-to-day, they had micro moments of liking. They would go down the hallway and be like, hey, Chad. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Sarah. They liked so many people, and that in turn made them more likable. This showed me that being likable is in our control. Being likable means you have to be first liker. If you set out to like more people, you become more likable. And that was a really big shift for me because for so long, I thought it was all about me. It's a very selfish way to be, right? I was like, I better be impressive, I better be funny. But actually, what makes us likable is just liking as many people as possible.
I was laughing as you're speaking because I was just playing out all the different sort of personas of people listening right now.
Yeah.
And I just had this one persona of the person sat at home who just like slumped over because they realized they hate everybody. Like when you said that, they were just like, fuck, I hate everybody.
Look, I get it. And I also think that if you hate everyone, if that's you, let me try to convince you for a second. It could be because you're asking the wrong questions.
Okay.
I think I fell into that camp. I don't need people. I don't like people. I was very much in that camp for the first couple of years. Why? Because I had terrible interactions and terrible conversations, and it was awkward. Of course I didn't like people, but I was also asking the wrong questions, and I was telling the wrong stories. I was trying to be impressive. The best way to be impressive, to be likable, is to help people impress you, is to make them feel so liked that they begin to like you back. It's aggressively liking. So that means that when you're with someone, you should be constantly giving them verbal and nonverbal assurances of how much you want to like them. Watch them change. Watch your relationships transform. So I make it a policy of aggressively liking people. So I have 3 magic phrases for likability. Can I teach them to you?
Please.
Okay, so I want you to use these as many times as you can. 3 magic phrases for likability. 1, I was just thinking of you. Okay, so here's how you use this authentically, right?
Okay.
You think of a lot of people in your life all the time.
Yeah.
If you are thinking of someone and you can text them, I was just thinking of you, how are you? I was just thinking of you, how'd that project go? I was just thinking of you, it has been a while since we talked. Or, and better, you see a movie, you see a documentary, you see a matcha latte, you see a mug, you see a ceramic candle, and you're like, oh, this made me think of you. So my text messages, my conversations are full of actual moments where I was triggered to think of that person, actually, that this thing made me think of you. Or, I was just thinking of you, I wanted to ask you about. If you don't think of someone, they're not a person you need to have in your life.